The lights are off, but sleep refuses to come. You've scrolled through every meaningless feed, clicked every desperate video, and yet, nothing fills the hollow inside. You get up and walk to the kitchen, not because you're hungry, but because it's better than lying still. The silence is deafening. It presses against your ears like the ocean. And that's when the question comes, where are you, God? You whisper it, not out loud, but in that place where your soul breathes. You don't expect an answer. Honestly, you stopped expecting anything a long time ago. You remember when you used to believe, back when faith felt like a fire, not an ember, when prayers weren't just routines, when you felt Him, but life got loud. First, it was unanswered prayers, then betrayal, then silence. And little by little, your voice inside began to die down until you weren't even sure who you were praying to anymore. So you built walls, logical ones, emotional ones, walls to keep the pain out, but they also kept the light out. And yet, here you are, awake, empty, asking again, where are you? The truth is, He's been there the whole time, not barging in, not shouting from the sky, just waiting, like a lover sitting in the rain, hoping you'd turn around. God doesn't always come in burning bushes or parting seas. Sometimes He comes through your loneliness, through the tear you didn't notice falling, through the ache in your chest that won't go away. He waits for you in silence, not because He enjoys your suffering, but because He wants you to hear something deeper than words, something sacred, something you can only hear when everything else fades away. You don't know when it happens, but something shifts. You sit back down, not to scroll, not to escape, just to be still. And for the first time in years, you pray, not with perfect sentences or fancy words, but like a child. God, if you're real, I'm tired. I can't do this alone. And suddenly, the room doesn't feel so heavy. The silence softens. Your breath slows. Your heart opens. It's not fireworks. It's not a miracle, but it's Him. He came not when you performed, but when you surrendered. Morning comes, not with certainty, but with softness. You woke up not because everything was fixed, but because something inside didn't want to give up yet. In the days that follow, you begin to rediscover the sacred in small places. You don't scroll as much. You start journaling. You walk without music. You allow silence again, not as punishment, but as invitation. And in that quietness, something begins to bloom. You start hearing again, not audibly, but unmistakably. You're still mine, even after everything, especially after everything. Of course, healing isn't linear. You still feel doubt, still question, still stumble. But now, instead of running, you face it. You name the wounds, the lies, the shame. And each time you bring them into the light, they lose a little more power. You learn something radical. God isn't afraid of your darkness. He doesn't flinch when you scream. He doesn't retreat when you're a mess. He stays, even in your worst. So you begin rebuilding. Not religion, not rituals, but relationship. You find Him not only in prayers, but in art, in nature, in laughter, in breath. You begin speaking to Him throughout the day, not like a distant king, but like a father who never stopped loving you. You laugh again. You cry freely. You trust again, slowly, gently. You're still healing, still walking. But now you're not walking alone. It's another late night, same silence. But this time you don't fear it. You sit in it, embrace it, and just before sleep you whisper, "Thank you for not giving up on me." No thunder, no visions, just peace, deep, sacred peace. And the whisper in your soul, "Welcome home, my child." If the story touched your soul, don't let it stop here. Like this video if you've ever felt lost but found a way back. Comment below. When was the last time you heard God in your silence? Subscribe and turn on notifications. New stories every week to bring peace to your nights. Share this with someone who needs to know they are not alone. If you want daily whispers of encouragement, follow us on Instagram at Divine Whispers or join our email list at yourdomain.com. And remember, you don't have to scream to be heard by God. Sometimes, you just have to be still.